Hello, Monsters Abound here. Welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2 Immortal Empires in part 7 of my Beastmen campaign. You meet me at Castle Carcassonne, as last time we laid siege to it, and I actually built some siege towers. So it should help, just as well, because the enemy army is large and belligerent. But we're going to try and smash the door down with huge numbers of Chaos Spawn, because we bought about 7 units of the buggers. And then we've got lots of Ungor just moving up. There's not much the Ungor can really do apart from just soak up arrow fire. But, I mean, that's something. Siege towers moving up on the left and right flank because you can't actually get up to these walls because there's sort of this cliff bit here. So we've had to sort of go a little bit further afield. No big problem, but it is just something to be aware of. So already our Ungor are taking a lot of fire. Just going to scooch them up a little bit closer. We're holding back our own Chaos Spawn because they're my babies and I don't want them to get hurt. So we're just going to move them up. The rest of the Chaos Spawn are smashing down the gate. Good stuff there. Siege towers approaching the wall either side. Lots and lots of Bretonnian archers. Currently taking some sporadic fire. Finally the siege towers have reached the wall. They're a little bit ramshackled, aren't they? But still not bad. So we've got Gauls, and I think it's 2 units of Gauls hitting the left side of the gate. And then on the right side, 2 units of Ungors. Oof. They've got a trebuchet. I think they mostly killed their own men there though, so not entirely sure about that. So Ungors pouring out. Over here they're being backed up by some more Ungor. So already we're... The Gauls are very steamy, aren't they? Look at them. There's a lot of very hot breath. The gates are finally down. We are cutting through the Bretonnian peasants. Already Mutalika first through the gate as per usual. What a guy. Chaos Spawn backing him up. These Chaos Spawn obviously have 77 melee attack, 175 weapon strength. It's pretty good. Chaos Spawn charging towards the next line of defenders. Most of them currently just killing the first lot of defenders. Mutalika's getting stuck in as well. I think Morga's here as well somewhere. There is the Marie Beaumont, a damsel of beasts. See, the Chaos Spawn have taken quite a bit of damage, but they do regenerate, so it's not all bad. So we're cutting through the peasants. On the right side of the gate, our Harpies did try to sort of hit some of these men-at-arms, but took quite a lot of damage. Plus they got the favour of the lady, which buffed up their attack to stupid levels. On the right side of the gate, we have managed to defeat most of the Bretonnian peasants. Ungor's just stabbing down the last few men-at-arms there. However, a paladin is holding us up. And he probably will be holding us up for a little while, seeing as he's barely taken any damage. Chaos Spawn continuing their rampage. Gauls charging down from the walls, mess up some peasant bowmen. As you can see, the advance is going quite well, but more units of Bretonnians are waiting. So Chaos Spawn swarm in. Grail Guardians now in the fight. I mean, Grail Guardians, there's only 9 of them. Is there 9 of them? Was that wrong? Sorry, yeah, no, there is 9 of them. But they are already racking up the kills. And not taking an awful lot of damage. However, the Bretonnian peasants are suffering. I mean, not that that's anything new for them. Also got some Knights of the Realm held in reserve. There's some units over on the right flank there. I think they're mostly routing, but a few are rallying, coming back to the fight. The Hounds of Pestilence have clashed up against some men-at-arms. And hopefully they're going to get some reinforcements in the form of all of these units that are currently doing bugger all but watching a fight between some Grail Guardians and some Ungors, which is not going very well for the Ungors. Trebuchet getting some nasty shots in their butts. Most of the Bretonnian peasants have now been wiped out. Although our Chaos Spawn have taken horrendous damage, but that's kind of what they were meant to do. Some Bretonnian peasants getting charged in the rear there. Some Battle Pilgrims. Charged in the rear by Chaos Spawn and Mutalica and explode into meaty chunks. Bretonnian numbers are falling, and we need to deal with this Trebuchet because it's starting to be a real pain in the arse. 120 kills it's managed to rack up. That's not ideal. There's a Fey Enchantress floating around there. Off she goes. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's the way she's like floating around. Like, damn it, love. Just so here we go. We're going to take out the Trebuchet. These peasants not going to last very long when the combined horde of Beastmen and Chaos Spawn reach them. However, elsewhere our units are starting to falter. The Knights of the Realm have countercharged. They are going down, but they're taking a lot with them. 33 casualties from them so far. The Grail Guardian continue to fight on, barely lost any health, considering they've killed 220 and been fighting the vast majority of the horde for pretty much since they got through the gate. Large piles of Ungor and Chaos Spawn lying at their feet. We really need to deal with them. Knights of the Realm, on the other hand, struggling a little bit now. They've been bogged down and surrounded. In comes Mutalica. He's going to try and help out with the Knights of the Realm. A lot of our Chaos Spawn coming back from finishing off the last few fleeing Bretonnian peasants. There's still a peasant mob here. Peasant mob are awful. Herpes have, you know, they've done okay. Killed 32. That's not too bad. But we need to deal with these Grail Guardians because they're just being a bit of a pain. So Malagor, Mutalica and Morga are going to charge in all together because these guys do have physical resistance. And Malagor and Mutalica doesn't have magical attack. I think Morga does though. No, he doesn't. Huh. Okay, well Malagor does. So Malagor's going to be chopping his way through some Grail Guardians for us. That's it. Go on, hit with your stick. There we are. That's getting some stuff done. Nice work. And finally, with all the Chaos Spawn and our heroes focused on them, the Grail Guardians are going to fall. That just leaves the Fey Enchantress, who is currently floating around and exploding Ungors wherever she can. There's some quite fancy moves. Unfortunately, with the rest of her army dead, it doesn't take very long for her to, you know, die. Well, that was... Yep. So, okay, so we lost half our army, but we did take the city. So, there is that. Grail Guardians, holy shit, 284 kills. It's not... Okay, well that's fine. How's Galak... yeah, Galak, his army's looking a bit... That's okay. That's fine. No, don't worry about that. That's fine. And look how much money we got for that. 7k. Totally going to burn that to the ground. Got Dragonbane gem. Carcassonne has been destroyed. And Morga has got casual replenishment rate plus 10, which find a general. At this rate, the Lady of the Lake is going to have to find another representative. But casual replenishment rate plus 10%. That's huge. That is massively useful. And Annihilator. Enemy siege holdout time -3. So Morga's army is going to heal up very, very quickly. And the Bray herd, maybe not so much. Galak, have you ever considered visiting Orion, the King's Glade? Go and join so and say hello to him. He'll love to see you. Very friendly chap. Off you go. Lovely stuff. Okay, so Malagor can get another building, and I think, I mean, I'm tempted to go for the fire pit. The only problem is that Minotaurs are just going to be very costly units. Yeah, I mean, but maybe, I mean, Centaurs could be nice as well. If we can get the Centaurs with great weapons. I mean, their melee attack and defense is pretty garbage, but they do have good charge bonus. But then we could get for the Razorgore herd, because they are armor piercing. I think I'm gonna go. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go for the fire pit. Although Minotaurs are incredibly expensive units, I still think it's going to be the right decision. So we're going to do that. And we're waiting for Morga can get the next rank of his core building. It's quite costly, 9k, but that means we can then start looking to be able to recruit Chaos Spawn, which is going to be very useful. Okay, and we got tech as well. Now I am going to go for construction cost -10 for all buildings would be quite useful actually. That would save us some money. Weapon damage for Chaos Spawn and Minotaurs though. Beastly Stupor. Beastmen are not quite quiet revelers. It doesn't take much to amplify their natural aggression and rage. +10 at melee attack and defense for lords embedded in your army. So that's going to give Mutalica even more melee attack and defense. So that's only going to be a good thing. Good stuff. And then I think we're just going to end the turn. So Galak is going to go and enjoy the company of Orion, because his army's quite beaten up. I don't need him anymore. Here comes Orion to say hello. Apparently the meeting didn't go well, but you know, that's sometimes people just don't get on, isn't it? Sometimes it's a bit of a clash of personalities there. Poor old Galak. He was barely competent, but oh look, here comes some dwarves. Ambush? You're trying to ambush me? Are you shitting me? Now the only problem is I don't have any armor piercing at the moment. You have found the Bray herd. Speak. You want a non-aggression pact. I'm going to say no. What about if you give me some money, like 600? Sure, go and deal with every single surrounding empire yourself. Then see if I care. Not that it would have done you much good to have a non-aggression with me, because I'm not really going to kill you. Hello, Felman Ingress. Yeah. You want money? I'm sure an accommodation can be reached. After all, our masters have little need for gold and other gimcracks. How can I put this, Felman? But how about you piss off? Bray herd was defeated in battle. What? That's a surprise. That's a bit of a shame. Bray herd destroyed. Never mind. Never mind. We will suffer some post-Bray herd blues. Everyone's a little bit sad that Galak went off and got killed, even though, you know, some might say that that was intended, but Hello.
Not likely.
Lupio Sunscryer. You have a lot of crossbowmen. You've got a lot of crossbowmen. Okay, but we want to upgrade the Bloodied Lair, so let's do that. We could also go for the Toxic Grounds. I mean, we do want to go for the Chaos Spawn. It's going to use all our growth, though. But I think that's going to be worth it, so let's do that. And Malagor, you can come down here. Now, we're pretty much all healed up. Gauls and Roses took a little bit damage. The Herpes still recovering a little bit. Otherwise, we're fine. So we're just going to camp there. I suspect Lupio here is going for Castle Carcassonne to resettle it. We might be able to catch him in an ambush, which would be great. We could do that. And we do have the fire hits. We could, in fact, recruit some Minotaurs. That will take 2 turns, and they do have an upkeep of 506 a turn and cost almost cost over 1.5k to recruit. I just don't think I'm happy going into deficit just yet. Oh, here comes Orion. Okay, so he's resettled Castle Carcassonne. That does mean his army is really beaten up. Could this be a good time to kill Orion? I mean, I do like killing Orion. Stidi is probably going... Yeah, so they were going to settle Castle Carcassonne. It's been settled. They're going to retreat now. Okay, Blasphemy. Although you have scored a victory most vicious, enemy reinforcements are on their way and will doubtless overrun this position. There's precious little time. Do we loot the wealth from the corpses or defile their shrines? There is not enough time to do both. Oh, don't you just hate it when you got that? Do you loot the wealth or do you defile their shrines? Defile their shrines will give us more chaos corruption, but loot their wealth will give us 1k money. Well, we're going to loot the wealth, aren't we? Take what they can from them to sustain us and let us be gone. Indeed. Who's got a skill point? Morga has got a skill point. So let's go. I'm going to go with Slug Skin, because that's going to just increase all the weapon damage across our entire army, which does mean that the Chaos Spawn have 209 weapon strength and 68 melee attack at the moment, which is pretty good. And if we go and have a look. Okay, Orion's forces have recovered a little bit, but still, they're under half strength. Now the only problem is there's dwarves over here.
Don't think so.
I don't think they're in range. We could attack them and be... We could... Problem is we're not going to make much money from this. It would literally just be to stick 2 fingers up to Orion. Although I do like sticking 2 fingers up to Orion. I've got to get my kick somehow, haven't I? Let's kill Orion. So even though his army is pretty battered, it still says our chances are only 50-50. Goddamn wood elves. Are those... Wait, they got 3 units of Deepwood Scouts. And lots of Eternal Guard. Okay, and they've got Orion as well. However, I'm quietly confident. I think we got this. I think. Frankly, we're probably not going to make an awful lot of money from killing Orion, and the settlement's already been sacked, so This is just mostly just for my own amusement, mate. Any chance to kill Orion? Why the hell not? So they've got some Hawk Riders. Just thankfully, this army is pretty beaten up. I don't think we'd be able to take it if it was at full strength. So opening fire on those Hawk Riders. We're not doing an awful lot of damage. I do have a lot of archers, because, you know, they're wood elves. And on the right flank, we do have the Harpies and, of course, the Hounds of Pestilence. On the left flank, we've got our Gauls coming out of the forest. And Malagor is approaching. Ungor's going to clash with the Eternal Guard. Our Ungor's not going to do particularly well against the Eternal Guard. The Eternal Guard are pretty damn elite units. Orion on the left flank there is chucking spears at people. But Mutalika has caught up with him, along with the Chaos Spawn. So they're going to give him a good licking. I guess. That's, I mean, they do have awfully weird tentacled tongues, don't they? It's a little bit weird. Never mind. The Wild Riders have made a real mess of one of my Ungor units by charging into them. Thankfully, a unit of Chaos Spawn has been spawned, so they're going to be able to lock them down. Orion went down very, very quickly. Mutalika and the Chaos Spawn easily dealt with him. And all the missile units that have fled off, chased down by our Ungor, the Harpies and the Hounds of Pestilence, are getting absolutely wrecked without the Eternal Guard to defend them. And without the archers, the Eternal Guard easily, I mean, to be honest, this battle was always going to be fairly easy because the army was, you know, completely crushed from resettling those ruins, which are going to be returned back to the ruins that they once were, or were recently turned into, because I burned it to the ground. Still, it's always nice to kill some wood elves.
They shall fall. Meet your death.
That's Orion dead. I always like to kill Orion. Just checking out what we've got here. Winds of Pain and Brave Shaman. Yeah, so that's why we've got so much Winds of Magic, which is, I'm fine with having lots of Winds of Magic. As you can see, our Bestial Rage is now topped right back up. So I think as soon as the post-Brayherd Blues go away, we'll get another Brayherd. Good stuff. Now, we could loot and raise for the money, which would be 3. Although I'll probably take the growth and stuff. It's probably for the best. There we go. Dodon's dead. So there's Orion. We've got an Obsidian Amulet. And Wild Hunter. Everyone has a weakness, however well hidden. Even Immortals must face defeat sometimes. Leadership and melee attack during forest battles. Fair enough. And Morga is an Executioner. Public Order -3 in the enemy province. Enemy Leadership -2 in local region. It's going to come in useful. And Mutalika's got a Herdstone Keeper. Some Gauls are tasked to look after the Herdstones, their reward oft being sacrifice at the stone they kept in life. Sure. And a Flying Spy, and a Magister. Good, good, good. All fantastic stuff. Malagor has got yet another skill point. I think I do quite like Devolve. Devolve is quite good. Let's upgrade Bray Scream. Let's do that. And then Mutalika, you've got a skill point. We're going to give you Gouge Tusks, armor piercing, damage +15. The Beastmen's tusks are drenched in gore, blood and sinew from every foul battle. It's going to just make you do a little bit more damage. Cheers. Oh, you got 2 skill points. Sorry, I hadn't realised. In that case, you can also have leadership. No, evasion when using beast paths is nice. That could be good. Recruitment cost and unit. Well, that is quite nice, but on the other hand, I mean, the leadership is good. But that evasion, that's nice. So let's go. Yeah, let's go for the best of the beast. The best of the beast. A strong leader can bend the will of the warherd to his own and reap the benefits from it. And Gauls and Roses. Pit of Shades, absolutely. Oh, I've been looking forward to getting Pit of Shades. We've got Pit of Shades. Oh, I've got time to do some blender action. I mean, it wouldn't be very useful against the Wood Elves because they just literally... I mean, their units are tiny, especially in Still Faith Overhaul. Which is quite thematic, I guess. We are going to go and hide, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go hide. So, united against us. I mean, that's no great big surprise. We've spotted the dwarves because they're crap at ambushing. So a lot of dwarf warriors with great weapons. Some quarrelers. I mean, I'm not overly worried about that, but I might use Castle Carcassonne as like an ambush spot. We can probably build up a nice bit of cash by destroying the armies that come to resettle it, and then the growth as well. So that will be quite useful. We can go for the Pit of Horrors. I think we should do that. I mean, that means we can get a Feral Manticore if you fancy, but also Chaos Spawn. Chaos Spawn are so cheap. 99 upkeep. That's nothing. So let's get a Pit of Horrors. What I want to do is upgrade to the Bloodied Lair and then get the Meat Larder so that we can get another... well, does it increase? No, I think we need to actually get the Raging Pyre to be able to recruit more Gorbles, because we've already got one. It literally means that you can have one Brave Shaman and one Gorble per army, and because they're so... because obviously you want a magic user and you want a Gorble in your army because obviously they're just so good. It does mean that Beastmen don't really get many agents, because to use one of your agents outside of an army just doesn't seem worth it. So that's a bit of a shame. We're just going to hand back here for a little while because we've spent quite a bit of money on the Pit of Horrors, but it does mean we can get more Chaos Spawn. And Chaos Spawn are great, although I might take the Gift of Chaos off the Herpes and give it to another Chaos Spawn unit if we get one, which obviously we're going to, so... But the Herpes have done very, very well for themselves. I might actually keep them around. Generally, I get rid of them, but... if we're chasing down artillery and missile units... On the other hand, I still think that the Hounds of Pestilence are probably slightly better at that because they're useful in more places. Now, the only problem with the dwarves taking Castle Carcassonne is that it now has walls. Although I don't think they'll be rebuilt yet. Ugrok, hello, friend. Friend Ugrok, you want a military alliance? Right, use Gits, let's have a pact. Tell you what. Give me some money. You can forget it. Alright, I'm fine. Be that way. See if I care. Grateful Paragons. The example you set is inspirational. Tell me about it. The heroes under your command are proud to carry out your will and do so eagerly. The cost for all hero actions has fallen. That would be useful if we had any sodding heroes.
Big on.
Ooh, what I might do here, actually... There's older Zufburadan. Do they have walls? It does say they have walls. Okay, I think I'm going to hit the settlement. Let's move Malagor up. What I might, well, yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now it does say we need, really. I don't think that's going to be that. We can kick the door in. I don't think that's going to be that difficult. Do we want... Do I want a siege tower? Or do I just kick the door in? I think I want... well, no. No, I'm gonna... This might be a tad suicidal, but I think we should be okay. Fingers crossed. I was hoping they wouldn't have walls, or at least that some of the walls would have holes in them. I realised that was probably foolhardy of me, but never mind. So they've managed to reconstruct the walls in one turn, which I think is a bit bloody cheeky, to be honest. So Metallica, the Chaos Spawn, and the Hounds of Pestilence going to start smacking away at the gate. We do have some Ungor hitting the gatehouse on the far left. Now I was hoping to pull some units over to defend this, but of course they can't actually see them, so they wouldn't have known they were there. In hindsight, obviously, yep, so that's the thing. Ungors heading for the walls. They're going up on the walls on either side, while our Ungors just sort of stand there and take some fire. Of course, we do have now Pit of Shades, so we're going to use that on top of the gatehouse. Of course, I keep forgetting that if you use Pit of Shades on top of the gatehouse, units attacking the gate take damage as well. I learnt that during my Dark Elf campaign. I should have remembered it. I did not. I remember that now. Either way, it's going to be fine. So we've taken a large chunk of the Quarrelers on the wall there, with there's some Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. Quite a few Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. The Ungor and the Harpies have hit the far left of the wall. So they are going to... The Harpies basically there just to try and give the Gauls some support, because obviously they're coming up the wall one by one. It's taking a little... Come on, climb faster. Take him a little while to get up there, so because we didn't want to wait for siege towers. Maybe we should have waited for siege towers. To be honest, it probably would have been easier as a field battle rather than a siege, but oh well. The gate's down anyway, so that's good. And Morga is first through. Normally it's Metallica, but Morga's through first this time. And our poor Ungor have taken horrendous damage just standing out. I mean, yeah, well, to be fair, they probably would have standing out in the middle of nowhere, just getting shot to pieces. Yep, okay, good. Never mind. So what's left of our Ungors are going to come charging into the city now to find no one here. To be honest, they're all on the walls. Talking of the walls, the Gors on the left here are doing, not too badly. They've cut down most of the dwarves now. And the Harpies are chasing down the rest. They've got Ungors and Gauls on the right. They're taking out some dwarf miners. How's the battle going? Losing slightly, not exactly the decisive battle I want. And the reinforcements of the dwarves, the Rune Lord and his little posse have arrived here to go and kill some Ungor. I'm kind of ignoring these guys. I'm like, well, as long as you keep them busy, that's fine by me. More important things happening in the city centre. As Metallica, the Hounds of Pestilence and some remaining Ungor charge the Dwarf Warriors to hack their way through. The Chaos Spawn taking quite a lot of fire from the wall up here, seeing as they've now stopped shooting at my Ungor, because there's a lot of... They've really racked up the kills, haven't they? That's not good. I really should have dealt with them first. I should have brought some siege towers in hindsight. Probably would have been a good idea. Never mind. Dwarf Warriors with great weapons cutting down some Ungor, but there's not very many of them left. They are losing that combat. And city centre. We've thrown everyone we've got at these Dwarf Warriors in an attempt to kill them. I think Metallica should be fine there. I mean, Metallica's racked out only 9 kills. That's not as impressive as I thought it would be. Just... Alright, 10. That's now double digits. That's good. But Morga's at 26, so... Admittedly, most of that is probably going to be from the Chaos Spawn spawning, because it does kill the rest of the unit and gives him the kills. Units in these cities... Oh, the sort of gatehouse here looking a little bit worse for wear. The Chaos Spawn have gone out of control. They're still not... Are these a summoned unit? Yes, that's a summoned unit. So this is no. Right, that's our unit. So we've lost a couple of them, and their health has dropped quite rapidly. So all the Chaos Spawn, all the Ungor throwing themselves at the last few dwarves to try and take the town centre. As you can see, the town centre is now under our control, so they will lose eventually. But how many of our beastmen are they going to kill in the meantime? Quite a few by the looks of it. Dwarves, being typically tenacious, are refusing to run away and just killing us. And then the Quarrelers sniping us where they... I mean, this unit over here, 54 kills. Can we kill them, please? Come on. Almost. That's it. Go and chop them up. Perfect. That's what we want. The Harpies have decided to fly away. They've racked up 70 kills, which is pretty good considering they're up against very, very heavily armoured dwarves. So, again, a pretty good showing from them. Ungors on the right flank have got the Rune Priest literally surrounded. And eventually they might poke him to death. Well, I mean, those that survive, because there's quite a few corpses. To be honest, they fared a lot better than their Ungor herd brethren, who have been reduced to... Yeah, I mean, the Ungor over here have taken quite a lot of damage. However, the last of the dwarves is breaking, finally. And we can raise a settlement again. But this time with dwarves in it. Change is as good as the rest. In my opinion, any battle that you can walk away from is a victory. Admittedly, a lot of our beastmen are not going to be walking away from that battle, but that's not the point. We have won a Pyrrhic victory, but that's okay. There's always more beastmen where they came from. And we got the cash, so that's good. And, I mean, we could get 3, but I think I'm just going to take the growth. And we've got a Tormentor Sword, which is quite good. That gives us magical attacks. And also an ability that we can use which decreases melee attack and freezes units in a 30-meter radius around the hero for 19 seconds, which is quite useful. And we've got an Ungor whelp. This scrawny Ungor is kept collared and close to the chieftain, attending his needs, carrying his food, getting kicked and beaten. Okay, so we've dealt with Castle Carcassonne again. I think we're probably going to move on now. I think that's enough. Enough beating up Castle Carcassonne just for the moment. I'm going to grab Slug Skin. Because again, that's just going to beef up. So now our Chaos Spawn have 221. Weapon damage, which is very good. We can also get more Chaos Spawn, which we're going to do next turn. And probably, spend some time recovering a little bit from that battle. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.